Hi everyone. Today is Sunday, the 2nd of February, and I would like to take you through the fragrances I've worn in the last month, over the month of January, here in Australia, high summer, and tell you what my favourites were. So if you'd like to see what they are, do keep watching. First up, I have Dylan Purple from Versace. I really quite like this bottle. It's very summery and it's a little gaudy, but I like it. I don't know that I've mentioned this fragrance before on the channel. I really only wear it on very hot days. It is fruity and airy. It's one of these fruity ambroxan fragrances. The main fruit in here is pear, but it's combined with a bit of orange and some bergamot. So it's a sweet pear with a little bit of citrus. I'm going to spray some more. It's another hot day today. It's lovely. It's shampooey, sweet. It doesn't last the longest, but I really enjoy the smell, especially on hot days. It's refreshing and invigorating. It's youthful. What I find with Dylan Purple is I get more longevity out of this if I layer it on itself, meaning, for me at least, I'll spray it and 20 minutes or half an hour later, I'll come back and spray over the top. And that will get me maybe 3 or 4 hours from this. Yeah, I love it. It's summery, it's girly. If you like pear, it's worth investigating. I can't fully recommend it because I feel like it should last a little longer, but a great summertime wear. That is Versace Dylan Purple. Another citrusy fragrance that's perfect for hot weather is Aqua Palma from Montal. Now this one is very much unisex. It's citrus with a prominent cardamom note. The cardamom I don't mind. It's not, oh, it's nice. It is unisex though, so nothing like Dylan Purple. But the cardamom here is kind of warm and not too peppery. I think I wore this earlier in January and I wore it for a couple of days in a row. I turn to this when I want something with some staying power because clickety clacks, it projects really well. It doesn't fade away. I think I'm going to spray a little bit. Why not? Yeah, it projects this lovely, refreshing. It's citrus, but the spices in here are warm. Let me have a look. There's a peach note in here as well, and sandalwood. So yeah, there's a bit of complexity to it and you get little wafts of different things at different times. Yeah, so the cardamom and the sandalwood, some people would say that would make this slightly masculine leaning, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's dead down the middle. And as I say, I wear this when I want to smell a fragrance for hours without topping up in the heat. It's really good. There's something quite sophisticated about this one. That's Aqua Palma from Montal. A newer fragrance to my collection, sorry, it's not new, but it's new to me, is Borea from Tiziana Terenzi. I have been wearing this a lot to get familiar with it, but also because I really enjoy it. To put it simply, I would describe Borea as a powdery jasmine fragrance with coconut around the edges. So to me, it's not tropical. The florals in here are white florals, jasmine, tuberose, freesia, and rose. So it's more Mediterranean summertime, I would say. The fruit that you get at the top of this is plum, but on my skin at least, there's fruit at the opening and then the fruit dissipates and you're left with this lovely, lovely powdery jasmine. There's almond in here, which I think contributes to the powdery quality of this. And as I say, same with the coconut. The jasmine in here, and I'll be the first to admit, jasmine can be done in a way that's really unpleasant. I really like how the jasmine is done here. It's not heady. It is powdered, if you like. It's powdered and a little bit fresh. The jasmine almost comes off like what's it called? The violet sweets. There's like a sugared violet almost. So there's a little bit of sweetness in here. This is another one that smells quite sophisticated. Even though it comes across simple, there's something unique about it. There's something elevated about it. It's very powdery. There's also a lot of musk in here, but I've said before about this one, I don't get that, what people talk about, a full-on offensive Tiziana Terenzi musk. I don't get that with Borea. I get white musk, and it's fairly prominent, but it's really a musky, powdery jasmine. And another thing I love about this is how versatile it is. This I think you could wear all year round, again, because it's not tropical. It's more like summery, and in a warm climate I can wear this just about all year round. I think it's also got some very decent projection, and you could also wear this of an evening. So yeah, I'm glad I got this one because of the versatility. The projection and longevity are moderate. That is Borea by Tiziana Terenzi. There was a period in the month where I wanted some sweetness, even though it's warm weather. And one of the fragrances I turned to was Signorina Misteriosa by Salvatore Ferragamo. This one has been in my collection for at least a couple of years, and I adore it. I adore it. It's a tuberose and blackberry fragrance, and it has a milk note as well, or milk souffle or something like that, I think. I wore this one or two evenings, and I really enjoyed it. And I layered it with Bath & Body Works Dark Kiss body lotion, which has a blueberry note. I think it's blackberry in this. Just let me have a double check. Yes, it's blackberry in Signorina Misteriosa, and it's got this beautiful sweet tuberose as well, and then yeah, this milk note. So it's quite unique. It's delightfully sweet. It's flirtatious. It's not too loud, moderate projection at best, and it really only lasts, I thought it only lasted about 3 or 4 hours. However, I found this time round, maybe in the warmer weather, I don't know, but I could smell this the next day on my skin. So that's nice. But yeah, girly, flirtatious. I think Signorina Misteriosa would also be lovely for a date night fragrance. It's something different with that berries, milk, and tuberose. Not often talked about, but worth checking out, because these days, Signorina Misteriosa is quite affordable as well. Liked that one a lot. Another fragrance I went to satisfy my sweet craving was Pink Sugar Red Velvet from Aquilina. This is a beautiful, perfumey, gourmand fragrance. It's delicious, and I prefer Pink Sugar Red Velvet over the original Pink Sugar, because it doesn't have the licorice. Now, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy licorice in a lot of fragrances, but for some reason, Pink Sugar Red Velvet is much nicer to me than the original Pink Sugar. It smells less like that burnt sugar, which I think is kind of exacerbated in the original from the licorice. So back to this one. This is strawberry. Strawberry, and yeah, there's a lactonic note in here called whipped cream that doesn't necessarily come across super lactonic, but there's something very addictive about this Pink Sugar, a bit like the original. I think that's quite an addictive fragrance as well. It's an EDT, but it lasts moderately, up to 6 hours, and the projection is moderate. This is, like a summertime gourmand, really. I wore this a lot in the last month. I wore it during the day, and I wore it of an evening. Yeah, and it costs pennies. That is Pink Sugar Red Velvet from Aquilina. I thought I would run through a couple of the fragrances I enjoyed wearing of an evening to bed. Those were a couple as well, particularly the Pink Sugar, but there's a couple of others that I pretty much just wore, of an evening and winding down and going to bed. The first one is Eternal Musk from Paris Corner. I've mentioned this quite a bit because I really like it and I think it's a wonderful feminine musk. It is not a big projector, but I've had this in my collection for maybe a year and now the projection's moderate. But even from the get-go, what I loved about this one was the longevity. It lasts a really long time on the skin. I'll give this one a spray too if I can find a spare space. It's beautiful. So there are some florals in here, kind of powdery white florals. The musk is clean, feminine. It's gently powdery. And I think what's really interesting about Eternal Musk is it has quite a woody base to it. I would guess something like cedar. And there's also a black pepper quality. I don't know if that's in the notes, but it comes off like a little dusting of black pepper, which makes this really, really lovely. I'm really working my way through this bottle and I will be sorry to see it go because I wear this a lot of evenings to bed. It's one of those comforting, musky, gentle fragrances. Very feminine, this one. That's Eternal Musk from Paris Corner. Another one I've been playing around with is Fursan White from Hudledge. This one's super interesting, and in the few weeks I've had it, it has gotten way stronger. When I first sprayed this, I was like, really, is that it? But no, this is strong. This to me smells what I think of as niche in that it's not mass appealing necessarily, and it smells like something in particular. Like in this case, this Fursan to me smells like a whole coconut. That is the husk of the coconut, the meat inside the coconut. It's also not very sweet, which gives it that niche quality to me as well. So definitely gourmand because it's coconut, but it's not lactonic coconut. It's not girly. It's really, really interesting. And I found myself spraying this a lot over the month and also again wearing it of an evening because it's cozy. There's musk in here, there's almond in here, but mostly what I get is, yeah, like a very realistic coconut, super unique. I think people might be turned off by this because it doesn't have the sweetness that you might think. There is vanilla in here too, but yeah, it's a powdery, warm, kind of subtle coconut fragrance. I enjoy a lot of coconut fragrances, so this is kind of up my street, but it could be a disappointing blind buy for some, I would suggest. But I'm glad I got it, and maybe something like this could be considered a little bit of, like the equivalent of a palate cleanse, because even though it's gourmand, it's not sweet and it's not super projecting. It lasts about 5 or 6 hours on my skin with moderate projection. That is Fursan White from Hudledge. That is it, friends. They are the highlights from my perfume wears in the month of January. As I say, we are in the middle of summer here, but we haven't had all extremely hot days, so I've been able to mix it up a little bit with some sweeter fragrances. Tell me what have been your main reaches in the month of January in the part of the world that you're in. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.